Okay, great. So this is the cloud application of SaaS Studio. So you need to create a profile on SaaS website. I'll share you the link for it. Uh, can you just make yourself mute? If you're not speaking, keep yourself mute because our session is getting recorded. So I'll be sharing you the link for creating the profile with SaaS for your SaaS profile for how one can make yourself or how you can create your profile to work with SaaS Studio. Okay. So that details I'll be sharing with you via email. Um, so today you just observe how the things are moving, and we do have first day and second day available. So you go through that video once the class is done, and in case if you have any queries, you can always ask me. So for you, I can take the session for tomorrow for how one can start with SaaS Studio. All right.
Okay.
All right. So this is for me the create data code. So most of the time, you people will not be able to work on this. No worries, but I have given you the alternate that you can create a libname statement and work to connect to all your external files, which we have saved on the cloud drive. We are getting connected those files into SaaS. All right. So for me, I'm doing the same here as well. Just I need to submit my create data code and it will create and connect all those external files which are there into SaaS. So this is what I get all these files, and I also have a library for it created. So if I go in my libraries, I get PG1 libraries. So I have all these data files with me. So what is a library and what is a libname statement, that will be going into detail. Okay.
Okay. But here you
So
don't need to do a libname statement, right,
no,
Ashwini?
that
And
I will tell you later on. For me,
okay.
create data code is working, so that's not an
Okay.
issue for me. That's
Mm.
why I just executed create data code.
Okay.
So to continue, we'll be starting our lesson number 2, which is accessing data. Just a few seconds, I'll keep my PDF book as well handy also. I hope you have also kept your PDF book handy,
Yes.
Pragati.
Yes.
Great. So we had seen in lesson 1 that the SAS programming is comprising of two steps, mostly data step and proc step, right? So all our SAS coding is going to resolve on these two steps itself. So all the concepts of programming we are going to learn through our data and proc steps, and for that you are quite aware that we have few steps of how one can learn those coding by accessing data first. Then once the data, how you know how one can access it, it comes to know. Then once the data is into SAS environment, then we'll see how one can create a new data on it, and then we can see how one can create reports and new data file on it, and then we can see how one can export the data and report. So these are some 5 steps, and among them lesson 2 is the beginning for your first step, which is accessing data. All right, so here we'll be starting with lesson 2. It comprises of 3 topics: understanding the concept what SAS data is, will access the data by using libraries, through libraries as well, and we'll see how one can import data into SAS. Okay, so these are the 3 ways or 2 steps: accessing data through libraries and importing SAS file. So how this is done, which is one of the steps of accessing data. So we'll be saying it in detail. So let's understand first what a SAS data is all about. All right. I hope you people can view the screen and I'm quite audible, loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So let's understand. So as I discussed here, that this was what I was discussing. That is this 5 steps. All this as programming process is going to revolve around our 5 steps, which is understanding how one can access the data. Just then we'll see how one can explore data. Once the data is accessed into SAS, we'll explore it. Explore is nothing but if you have a business scenario and you need to work on that business scenario. Like for example, in case if you have a table for some class data, okay, a student's class data. So from that data, there is a business scenario one to know or to understand that how many students are attending or what is the attendance for a month. Okay, so this is a business scenario. So for that, first thing is you need to get that data into SAS. Once this is the steps which is accessing data. Once the data is into SAS, we need to explore the data, because being a data analyst, one person should understand the data, like how many columns it has, how many rows it has, what are the types of columns, whether it's data types of columns are in the form of numeric or character. Okay, because this understanding of data is very much important being a data analyst, because depending on that we will be solving our, or we will be working on a business scenario. Then we'll create or prepare a data for analysis. Then we'll analyze and we will do the report and data, and then we'll export the results. All right. So this is the 5 steps which we'll be doing, we'll be learning. So this is what is just telling us that we have data in a specific folder. We'll be writing certain data steps or some programming steps where we'll be accessing the data and we'll be generating an output out of it. Okay, so this is the process which will be moving ahead. So
Okay,
types
I
of
have one
data.
question here, Ashwini.
Yes.
So when you were explaining about like Explorer data, so
Mm-hmm.
like if they have some protocol, right? So we have to follow that protocol and do changes in Explorer data. What we have to
That
do
that
there?
is the business scenario. Don't worry, we'll go step by step.
Okay,
All right, so this is not what we are doing it now. This is just a process which we are understanding and will be learning our programming. We are
okay,
going to first, we are working with accessing data. So let's understand first what data is, and then you will see how one can
okay,
explore.
okay,
So it's all
okay,
into our process. It will go step by step.
okay, sure.
First is, that is why it's highlighted here. It is telling here to access data. Okay,
Mhm.
so we'll
Right.
be now moving ahead. First thing is to understand and access data. Very first important point as an data analyst is, when you are working on a data, you should know what are the types of data, or you should have a basic understanding about data. Okay, so when I say it's a data, I know now now Pragat is from a life sciences background, and Meena is from, of course, not from an IT background, both of you. So when we say that it's a data, data is nothing but a collection of information saved in a specific format. We call it as a table format. Either it could be a table format, or it could be a free format, or you call it as unstructured data, where you do not have a table structure, but you simply have data information. Okay, so that is what it's telling. You have a structured data, and you may have unstructured data. So when you have a structured data, it includes defined rows and columns, many types, able to be read by SAS. And of course, the data which is structured data could be either the form of SAS or Oracle, okay, or a form of Teradata, or you may have a Microsoft Excel type of data as well, or Hadoop, or you may have certain tables or other format. So when we say it's a structured data, so it's specifically that the data is defined in the form of rows and columns. So I hope you all are aware about Excel. Okay, so you all are aware of Excel, correct?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
have worked on Excel. So Excel does has defined rows and columns. Okay, just a second. I have some issues with network. Just a second. So as you all are aware about the structured table, so it is having a fixed rows and columns, right? So that we can define as structured data. Okay, so that is what it's telling. It includes defined rows and columns, many types, able to read as SAS. So because we are working into SAS environment, we have table into SAS, which is also going to be having rows and columns, and that's why we call it as structured data. So these are some of the examples of structured data, and we have unstructured data. So when we say it's an unstructured data, so as an example, sorry, it does not have a structure of table called rows and columns. All right. So I'll just share you one example of how unstructured data looks like. Okay. Please. All right. I hope you can view the screen now. So this is the
Yes.
table, or you can see this is the file. So do you think it's an into a table format with rows and columns?
No.
So this is called an unstructured data. Okay, you simply have some information either into Notepad or into WordPad, okay, or into some other files where only the information is simply jotted down. Being an analyst, we had to make it into structured form. So that is a different task altogether. But I just wanted to give an example that this is the example of an unstructured table. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving back with our slides. So there are types of data. So we have structured data and unstructured data. So this is what it's telling about unstructured data. It includes data but not defined columns, must be imported into SAS, text, delimited or JSONs, w- web logs, and other files. So these are some of the files in which we have unstructured type of data. Any queries on the slide?
No, no, Ashwini.
All right, thank you. So moving ahead, so what is a SAS table? So as we know that the table which is or the information saved in that SAS is also a structured data with defined rows and columns. So a table in SAS, we call it as SAS data set. All right. And it is always saved as .ss7bdat as an extension. So if you have observed our studio with the data set, you will see that it is always saved as so this is all our defined data sets. Okay. So if you check this data sets, fine. So this all will be saved as .ss7b dat. Okay. So this is the structured data. All right. So I'll show you how it once it is saved on external drive, how it looks as well. So this is how, if you'll see this extension, it will show that extension. It is a data set with .77b dat. Okay. So here, if you see, this is a class data set with .sas7b dat extension. So this extension tells that it's a SAS data set, whereas .sas file with this icon of running man, it indicates it's a SAS code file, right, Pragati? I hope you recollect.
Yes.
Yes. So this is your SAS code file, whereas the extension with .sas7b dat is called, or we term it as SAS dataset. And a SAS dataset is a structured table. Only thing is, because it is into SAS, we term it as SAS file or SAS dataset. So it has structured table with rows and columns, same like your Excel. All right.
Yep.
So moving back to this slide, this is the SAS table. So we know table always have columns and rows, correct? So when
Yes.
a SAS table has been created, the instruction or the information related to columns, how many columns, what type of columns it has, okay? So that all is called, or that portion of a table is called as descriptor portion. So a table which is saved in SAS is always having two portions. One is the descriptor portion and one is the data portion. So data portion is nothing but we call it as data values, whereas descriptor portion it has the information about the information, what is the name of your table, number of rows, date when the table was created, name of the columns, and column attributes. So when we say column attributes, that means it's describing the columns that is the names of the column, the type of the columns, all right, and and that is what it also describes, whether that columns has labels or formats. Okay, so this is the descriptor portion and a data portion which comprises of data value. So in SAS, the SAS data set is always of two portions, descriptor portion and data portion. So it's very important for you to understand the portions of data and how as a data analyst one can view it. We'll see it in our upcoming examples. So a SAS table or a SAS data set, as we know, it consists of tables and columns. But as I explained you, that a table in SAS is always termed as a SAS data set, whereas column is termed as variable, rows are termed as observations. So whenever I say it's, we have to know how many observations we have. So you have to always discuss, or you should understand that I'm talking about rows. So when we say how many variables we have, so it's a term which is describing about columns. So you should be very much familiar with this terminologies, telling it's a SAS data set. Columns are termed as variables, whereas rows are termed as observations. All right. So,
Yes.
so what does a column attributes for a SAS table? So as we discussed, column attributes is nothing but it describes the columns. That means what are the names of the columns, type of columns, and length of the columns. All right. So in SAS, all columns must have name, type, and length. It's very much important. So when it comes to the name of column names for SAS columns, it should be between 1 to 32 characters long. Okay. The names of the column should not exceed more than 32 characters. It should always start with a letter or an underscore. Continue with letter, number of underscore. That means if you begin with a letter or underscore, subsequent could be letter, numbers, or underscores. Can be upcase, lowercase, or mixed case. So in SAS, as we have already discussed earlier, that it's going to be the coding is not at all case sensitive. So you have mixed case. So it's not a prerequisite that you should have upcase or lowercase. It could be mixed cased as well. Okay, so this is the comprising, or this is describing how the names of the columns, one can always follow this nomenclature or this attributes for the name of columns. Whereas understanding this, you have a quiz. So which column names are valid as per the previous example? Can you please answer if it's A, B, C, D, E, or F?
A is correct. It start with
F. Only one option we have, or like
select all that apply.
A, F,
Start with letter and underscore.
E,
Okay, so A is correct, I think. C is
B.
correct.
No, B starts with numeric, na? Then it
That's
is,
what I'm saying. B is not correct.
yeah. So A, D, E, and F.
C is also correct. It start with M.
I don't know about that sign. Underscore, it is mentioned. It can be underscore will be there, but not the hash sign. I don't know.
Yeah. Continue with letters, numbers, or underscore.
Yeah, that's so A, D, E, F.
All right, so let's check. Just a second. I have some network issue. Please.
Oh.
Okay, so we were here. So as per this question, which column names are valid? So you were
A,
saying A,
A, C,
okay.
D,
Mm-hmm.
E, and F, I
All
think,
right. Okay,
except
fine.
C. Sorry,
Except C.
except, yes, C.
So this is the right answer. So B is not correct because it's
Yeah.
starting with alpha letter. C is not correct because it has special sign. It's
And
valid only with underscore. And D is also incorrect
space.
because it has
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yes. All right. So what is the type of column? So in SAS, you have only two types of columns. Numeric and character. So numeric, it includes all your numbers or digits ranging from 0 to 9, minus signs, decimal points, and also the notation E, which is an exponential. So these are some of the examples of all the numeric values which are denoted as numeric values for numeric type of column. So how about characters? So it will include all your letters. Numbers can also be saved as characters. Special signs. Of course, blanks is a part of your characters. So this is all the example. All right. So this is very much important being an analyst to understand the types of columns for SAS. So we have two types of columns, numeric and character. So all the digits, including your decimals, minus signs, notation, which is E, which actually denotes as exponential values. So that all are numeric. Whereas characters can be letters, numbers can also be saved as characters, and special characters blanks. All right. So this is the types of columns. Whereas length, or when we say it's a type of columns for your numbers or digits. So I have a common question. How about dates? Any idea how SAS may save the dates?
no.
Numeric.
Yes. Yeah, Pragati. No, I think it was Meena who was
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying something. Yes, Meena.
So it will come in numeric, right? MMDD.
Numeric.
Something.
Okay. Okay.
Or maybe
So
MM like 03 Feb 1992.
that Feb, it's FEB.
So it
So
will come
will
in
it be?
character that time. I
So
don't.
it's never jumping either character
Okay.
or numerics. You should always say either one thing, whether SAS will save dates as numeric or character. Because if we say the date is saved as 03, FEB as Feb, and then 2021, so that contains a character value which is FEB.
So
Correct.
maybe in
So
character only. I think it's character only.
okay, let's see. So mostly SAS saves dates in the form of numbers. Hence, in SAS, dates is saved as numeric. So how it saves as number? Because a specific date is always calculated as a number of days from 1st Jan 1960. So this date is actually when the SAS software was being developed. Hence, this date in the system is saved as 0 day. So any day post 1 Jan 1960, like for example, 1st Jan 1961 is saved as 366 day. So it's a next year.
Yeah.
Okay, and this year having a leap year. Hence it is 366 day. This date will be saved as 366 day. Whereas 1st Jan 1959, which is prior, 1 day prior your 1st Jan 1960 is saved as minus 365 day. Hence, SAS saves date as numeric in the form of number of days, which it calculates from 1st Jan 1960 to a specific date. All right.
Oh, that day what happened, you said? It's developed, SAS.
Introduce. Yeah. Introduce.
No, I did not get your question, Pragati.
First
Oh,
January
1st
1960.
Jan 1960,
Yeah.
you said something like SAS,
It is the date when SaaS software was developed.
okay.
All right.
Hmm.
That is why the date is saved in the system as 0 day, and any date we in our data or within the system, it is saved in the form of number of days, which calculates from this day. All fine.
Yes.
So that is why it's telling it makes the calculation easy. Like for example, if we have age to be calculated for a specific candidates, so if your dates are saved in the form of numbers, we will be able to calculate his age and other calculations also, to find out the difference between the dates also. Hence, SAS saves the dates in the form of number. All right. Moving to length. So when we have numeric data, the dates maximum length is saved in the form, or it is saved as 8 bytes. So in SAS, the length is always saved in the form of bytes. Okay, it's a storage way of how it saves in the form of bytes. So 8 bytes. So 8 bytes can save approximately 16 significant digits. Whereas for characters, it is not restricted to 8 bytes. It may range or vary from 1 to 32,767 bytes, where 1 byte is equivalent to 1 character. So this is the space area which it occupies into the SAS memory to save character values or numeric values. All fine? Okay. So
Yes.
now you have an activity here. It's telling you to navigate the location of your course files and open the data folder. So we are working into SAS for Studio. So expand files and folders. It's telling you to double click your storm summary.ss7b dat data set or data table and view it.
Hmm.
It's telling how are missing characters and numeric values represented into data.
Okay.
Blank space.
Yeah, wherever is blank space is
The
character
missing
value,
data is blank
and
space
period
or dot, that period.
for numeric value it's a period.
Yeah. We can't hear you, Ashwini.
I think she's in mute.
Yeah, sorry. So this is what it was telling for character column. You have the missing values representing as blank, whereas for numeric, the missing values represent as period. All right?
Hmm.
Yes. So click the table properties for the storm summary data to view the table and column attributes. Examine the length of basin column. Could is specific be properly stored as a data value in basin column? So let's check this properties. So for this, I'll right click. We have options coming for this table with properties. So within properties, Just a second. Table properties. You have to check for table properties. So here you have this table properties. So it's telling for table properties, see you this basin. So see, if you see here itself is telling this icon for season column 1, 2, 3, it indicates it's a numeric column.
Numeric.
Whereas the icon for all others, which is showing in a triangle A, that is, it's a character type of column. All right. So if we click a column called basin, at the below we get its properties. So check here, you get the properties. See what it's telling? The property for this column, it has a label representing. So when we open a table, it has a label which called as a nickname is just for representing it. It's showing its basin, but and this is its original name, same basin. Length of characters saved here. So total length is 2. Type is character. So what is format? In format, I'll discuss it later, but at this time, just understand that this is what it's telling. So as per our activity or the question, it's telling examine the length of basin column. So could east specific be properly stored as a data in this basin column? So if you have a data value called east specific and you want to save for this column basin, so will it actually save as is specific? Yes or no?
Yes, it is character, no?
But the length should be more than
Absolutely.
Yeah,
basin,
length
right?
is 2. Yeah, length is given 2.
Correct.
Only
Correct.
something.
So
Right.
no.
So no. So basin is 2 byte
byte.
space column. Correct.
Hmm.
So its specific value could be truncated. Truncated, that means it will not, or it will cut all the characters within it. It will just show whatever the characters fits with that 8 bytes or 2 bytes. All right.
Hmm.
And the value will be EA. Fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was just basic understanding for us. Now, programmatically, if you want to understand the descriptor portion of your data. So if you remember, we have discussed earlier, the table or SAS data set consists of 2 portions, data portion and a descriptor portion. So data portion is nothing but this is what the data portion is all about, which you see on your screen, which is data values. Okay, so this is the data portion. So descriptor portion means it describes your table, name of your table, when was it created, how many columns, how many rows, and the column attribute. So that is the descriptor portion. So if one needs to understand the descriptor portion programmatically, we can also always write a procedure called proc contents. The syntax is data equal to, you give the data set name, semicolon, you know it ends the statement, whereas run ends your step, right? So run always ends your step. So you give the path where your data is saved. So for example, when I write a program, you know, you always write a program in a new program window. So I write data, sorry, it's a procedure. So we are going to write a procedure, which is a short form called proc, because we want to know the contents. It's a keyword. See, it gives you the options that it is as per the syntax data equal to, and you give the data path. So what I do, I write this summary. I click here and I click its path. So you know it's a cloud path. So I paste here and I end my statement or my step with run. This is how it is. So the path is always provided in SAS in quotes. All right. And I submit my step. So when I submit this step, I hope you can view, it shows the information Now the information shows here is divided into 3 or 4 portions. So the first portion, it gives you the title by default telling it's the proc contents procedure. So this is what is generally explaining your data information. So it's explaining your data set name. So this is the path where your data is saved, how many observations, how many variables, its member type, its data, its engine is V9. That means V9 is the version 9 data, because originally when SAS was developed, the table saved it is having the engine type as V9. When you have Excel table, its engine is Excel. When you have Oracle, its engine is Oracle. So it's the type of software where the table is saved. So it's V9 for SAS, okay, which is called as engine. So when it's created, when it's last modified, what is the maximum observation length here? Any observations deleted, compressed, sorted. Okay, so this is the general information. So it's telling about encoding, that is, how is the font saved for this data. So this is the general information. Then it also gives you the engine information host, okay, or you call it as engine host dependent information. So data is always saved in the form of data pages, okay, into the memory. So it's telling the size of the page, how many pages it requires. Then the information starts from the first page. Maximum observation per page is 1000. Observation first data page is so much, and rest all information, okay, that what is the file size and all those stuff. And you see the alphabetic list of variables and their attributes. So this is what you see. These are the variable names. They are showing you alphabetically. This is its type, its length, and format is nothing but how the format is applied to view this particular data values for date. So what is format and all, we'll see it in detail later on, but this is the alphabetic list of variables and attributes. So this indicates the numbers telling that this is the position in the table. Basin is the third column. This is the eighth column in the table. First column is season, but because here it's showing alphabetically, it's ranging like this. And this is the information on the table because it's been already pre-sorted. Okay, that's it. So this is the descriptor portion of your table, which you view by writing this particular procedure step. All right, any questions?
No.
Okay, so this was about your descriptor portion, how one can view the descriptor portion by using proc contents. Just a second, slides are coming. So meanwhile, so this is the same thing on your slides also. So if you see, this is the PDF book. So this is your PDF book, which is also containing the slides and the information for us. So same thing we had seen. So which is on slides, it's in your PDF. So it's going to be a reference guide for you. So whenever you will be practicing, you'll be studying, self-study, this is going to be a very useful book for you. All right, so this is how it was describing about our proc contents. So they have given the example for class birth date. So this is the information for class birth date. So same thing, if we move to our studio and if you check for the data which is already existing, see class birth dates here as a SAS data set. I'll do the same thing. Just change this name, class underscore birth dates. All right. So need to select this particular statement or step and submit. So we get the descriptor portion. So again, the three portion. First is the general data information, engine host information, and the last is alphabetic list of variables and their attributes. All right.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, so you have an activity. So it's telling open this activity P102A04. It's telling write a proc content step to generate a report for storm summary data. Highlight the step and run only the selected code. How many observations are in table and how is the table sorted? Okay, so that is what we have already seen. So you will have to, Pragati, you'll have to work on this.
Okay.
Okay, so for it, they have asked you to work on activities. So what you will do is you go into your activities folder. Yeah. So for lesson 2, they have asked us to work with activity A04. See P1,
Okay.
lesson 2 activity A04, which already has a pre-existing code for
Mm-hmm.
instead of writing class birth date. So it's just telling you to work with summary, storm summary data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have to change this path as well.
Okay. Just now you did it, right? Proc content data is equal to.
Right, so you need to work
I
as
have
an
to go
activity
to,
for you. Yes,
okay. Yeah. Properties, and then I have to copy
correct,
paste that path.
correct. That path
And
for your
okay.
summary, storm summary data.
Yeah. Will open,
So,
and then we have to find like how many observation inside.
right, right. So that's
Okay.
what it's telling you.
Yeah. First question I got it. The how many observations. But the
Mm-hmm.
second question is how is the table sorted?
Hmm. So when I run this, so as you know, at the bottom, there is another table which is
Yeah.
telling the information of sort.
Correct.
So it's telling it is sorted on the basis of two columns, season and name.
Oh, okay.
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 So this is what you had written on your program, correct? Sorry.
Hmm.
And it's sorted information. So this location. All right.
Yes.
Now we had seen about the information about data, understanding data, type of data. Now, when you wanted to access the data by writing proc content, you was giving the path, correct? So we were
Yeah.
giving this path. So look at this path. It's long. Now this is all fine because we are working on a cloud application and it's a class training. So this path is small, crisps is all fine. But when you're working on a live data in a specific for a specific project, so every time this path is not going to be so scripts and small because the data information or the tables are always saved on servers and the path is very huge. So this type of information is not going to be useful for us. Are you
Okay.
getting it? Or it's going to be time consuming every time that you need to, wherever the table is, the table could be on various servers. So you'll every time have to go to that server, copy that path, put it, and then find within that server which folder, within that folder, your data set. And then you'll have to give this. So it's going to be time consuming. So to make your tasks more simple, we are going to get introduced to the concept called as libraries. So let's access data through libraries. All right. So part of it you have already understood, but let's understand this through slides. So what do you understand before working or going ahead with this information? What do you understand by, or what is the term libraries for you in your understanding?
Libraries means like many data saving together
Or all
at
right.
one
Anything
place.
more? Yes. So
Set
it's making our
folder,
tasks. Yes.
dataset folder.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Correct. That's going to be more sophisticated or segregated way. So like library is, we know it's a collection of, for us, we know it's a place where we have a collection of books, various books,
Yeah.
right? So when you enter a specific library, you will not find that all subject books are at one place itself. It's going to be very much maze, or it's going to be tedious for us if we are looking for a specific subject book, right? The things are sorted there. The departments are created, correct? Sociology, psychology, geography, history, science, right? So all this is all segregated things. So if you are looking to read something on sociology, you go into a sociology section, and over there also the things are segregated alphabetically, and accordingly you get your book. So it makes your task simple. Same thing, the concept here is of libraries into computer language or in SAS, that the tables are saved in a specific path, which is, the path is nothing but where that particular folder is saved. And within that folder, and the whole folder is termed as library, or that path where that folder is saved is termed as a library. And that path will be using it into SAS. Instead of giving the whole path name, we gave a name for that path. Okay. So what is it that we'll see in this? So that's what this slide is telling, that every time it's very tedious for us to give the same common path. The table name is going to vary within this path or within this folder, this table. But next time, if we want a new table from the same folder, we don't have to keep on write the same path again and again, which we had already tried here. See, it's the same path. This earlier path is the same, correct? Things are changing here. So why don't we provide a technique where this whole path, we give a specific reference name and refer this whole path here with that reference name instead of this path. Okay, that is what this slide is trying to tell us. So this is the path where the data is located, and within this folder we have this specific data, right? So there's a discussion for us. What challenge might arise if we use a fixed path in your program? Yes.
So whatever new files we are creating, we have to save on the same path.
Okay, so what it's telling, if you have a fixed path, so what will happen if next time, if you are accessing a specific table, but that table is into a different folder and the path is different. So you'll always have to change the path, correct? Are you getting it? I hope you are understanding what it's telling the challenge. We have already discussed it earlier, and the path could vary every time,
Yeah,
right?
just now you told, right?
Right, right,
Hmm. So we have to repeat it again and
correct,
again. Same path, right? So
right,
many times we have to do it.
right. So that is how it's going to be challenging. So to make your tasks more simple, so that's what it's telling. So if you use this path, one of the analyst who is working is telling, I hope I don't need to write that file path again and again in the long program. The another analyst, the same thing what we have discussed is telling, think of editing. I'll need to do it if the data changes its location. What if I want to access another type of data? So it's going to be challenge every time if we use this fixed path. So to overcome these challenges, we come ahead with a concept called as library. So we'll create a library within a SAS session, and this library is created with a statement called as libname. We the syntax is we provide a library reference name, we give the engine and the path where that particular all data is available. So engine is telling what type of data it is. Now for us, our engine is V9. Why? Because those are all SAS type of data files. If we are creating a library for Excel type of data, the engine will be Excel. If the data files are of Oracle, our engine will be Oracle. If it's Teradata, it will be Teradata and so on. Okay. libref is going to be name for your library and the path is where your data is located. Now again, when we are giving the name for a library, one should always follow this rules that the name of the library should not be more than 8 characters. It should always start with a letter or an underscore. Subsequent could be letter, underscore or numbers. Okay. So this is the way where we have created the library. So as per our requirement, we know all our organization data is saved into data folder, correct? So I'll be creating a library named as libname with a syntax starting with the keyword libname. That is, I'm creating a library name. I give a reference name called as PG or PG1, and I give the path where all my data is saved, correct? So you know very well, for us, our data is saved into data folder. Or I simply use this PRG1 properties. I give this location and I submit this libname. So it's telling is successfully created. So where I'll see all this, I see into libraries section, PG1. All right. PG1, within it, we have data.
Which we already did it yesterday, right,
Right.
Ashwini?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So you need to submit that every day whenever you start your session. All right.
Mm.
Priyanka.
Pragat.
No, Pragat.
Pragati.
Yes, sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay.
So now next time, if I want to do a proc content on this class data file, so what I'm going to do, am I going to keep and write every time the long path? No, correct? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of my libref, which is PG,
One. Okay.
reference it with dot, telling within it I have class birth date data set, and I run this. So this is going to be the most simple and a proper way of writing a code referencing your table with a two-level data set name, referencing which library it is saved, and within this library, this data file. So it
But
should have a period within it. So it's
okay.
telling
Okay. But Ashwini,
library
here
name.
also we have to do
Yeah,
same thing again. If we want to see data in storm underscore summary, right? Then
right. So
again
same
we
thing.
have to do proc content data is equal to pg1 dot that
Correct.
data
Because
name
instead of giving such a big long path
path. Oh, okay.
and putting it into quotes, this
You
is
just
making
sorted.
my
Okay.
this is making my task more simple. So I simply submit this.
So instead of big path, you use pg1. That's it.
You should always have a habit to read your log as well. So see, when we submitted this proc contents, this is what the note has come that it is successfully executed, and the result you see for procedure always into a result window. Okay. So instead of always giving the detail path and a table along with its extension, you refer a library telling that all the files in this path, I'm going to refer it with this pg1. And this becomes my library reference name. And this is created because of the syntax of libname. And whenever I'm going to refer pg1 dot a specific table name, pg1 is nothing but this path. So that's what is all about.
Hmm.
And because it's on of the same engine type of data, we do not give this specification of file type telling it's .ss7b dat, because it's the common engine, because we are working for SAS data and it is the SAS environment, we do not provide its engine name here as per this syntax. Engine name, what type of data it is. All right. So for us, even if you want to give an engine, you can provide the engine name giving here as base. So it will get highlighted blue. So it's telling because it's SAS, no need of using this engine. Even if you don't use this, it's also fine. Even if you use it, it's also fine. Even if you don't use, because we are working on SAS data sets itself, so it's automatically understood its engine is base. All right.
Yes.
So libname is global statement and does not need to end with a run statement, because it's telling it's a global statement. It's not a step. That's why it does not end with run. So why it's called as a global? Because any statement, when we say it's a global, its effect is going to be last throughout your SAS session until and unless we end your session or we do any changes in this, it's going to be the same throughout your session. Therefore, it's telling it's a global statement. The effect of this is going to be throughout your session. All fine? Understood?
Yes, Ashwini.
Okay, great. So this is what is explaining. Library name, they have given mylib, engine, base SAS, and this is the path. Now for us, the path is for cloud. So here they have given the path wherever they have their external drive where the data is saved. So this is obvious, even if you don't write base, it's going to work. So this all the path or the folder where you have all your SAS files is termed as a library. With this library name or lib name, libref, which is mylib. So base SAS engine is the default engine. So these two statements are the same. So when you refer a specific table from a specific library, you use a libref dot a file name. So that's what the syntax is telling: libref dot file name, library reference name, and a file name. So it will go to this library, which is into this path in this folder, and this will access the data set. So mylib indicates the type of data and the location of your class table. All fine?
Yeah, just now you said like mylib indicates the type of data, right? But mylib is the name of library.
So that engine is same like base. It's
Yes.
a type. Yeah, that's why it's telling type of data because it's the common
Okay.
engine.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now, once if you have finished working on a specific library and you no more require it should again get connected to a library, you can also dissociate yourself from by not connecting, or you can disconnect from the library by using this syntax. Just write this. So what will happen here is, once you finished accessing a specific table like this by creating a lib name, you have accessed the table. You have accessed the table, your work is done, and you no more require this again the association from your physical path to a specific library. Into SAS, you can always ask SAS to dissociate the connection. So you simply write libname pg1 clear. So this is what it's telling: libref pg1 has been disassigned. So what does this indicates? That the connection which you have made where all your files are saved in this path in with SAS, you have now cleared it. Again, if you want to make the connection, simply submit your libname statement. All fine? Understood? So again, it's telling you the same thing into log. So this is what it's telling. If you want to delete the reference library, you can always write libname statement, give your libref and clear. So this will disconnect the current connection which is made from the SAS environment to the physical location for your file. Or another way of dissociating with the library or the physical path is you simply log out your session. But your data is not going to get deleted. Why? Because our data, is saved in this path. So data is always there in this path. So it is not going to get deleted. It's only the thing is we are breaking the connection from SAS environment with that path by using clear statement. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so for you, there is an activity now. Open a new program window, write a libname statement to create a library called PG1, which you have already done. So it's telling run the code and verify that the library was successfully assigned. Go back to your program and save this libname as a libname.sas main course. Correct? I
Yes.
hope you have already done it, right?
Yes. Yesterday we did it.
We have already done it. Okay, so now it's having a activity. So for studio is telling go to libraries, navigate the pane and expand my libraries. and check whether you have PG1 library. So you have already having, correct?
Hmm.
Right. So the question here is, why are the Excel and text files in the data folder not included into the library? So remember, what are we making the connection with the data folder with this path? So when we go back into this folder and we know we have a data folder here, within data folder, see, you do have some non-SAS files also, JSON, which is the text file, or unstructured file. We have Excel files, see?
Yeah.
And when you see your library, you see only SAS files. You cannot see the Excel files. Why? The answer we have already discussed earlier.
It can read only
Yeah. SAS
Yes, because we are working with only base engine
engine.
SAS files, and therefore it's connecting only SAS files within the SAS environment. And when you want to work to connect this non-SAS files, which is your Excel files and all,
Hmm.
okay, so there we have an same concept. We write mylib, or sorry, libname.
Libname.
I give a libref. Suppose I'm creating some data file, so I may write, give some name as AA. Okay, it should not be more than 8 characters long. Engine, I'm writing Excel, and I give the path for this Excel file. All right.
Okay.
Fine. And I submit this.
So now SAS can read this file, right?
Now SAS will connect to this path for Excel file, and then we'll get this Excel file data into SAS. Oh, engine is not, because it's XLS. Okay. See, its engine is XLS. Fine.
Hmm.
So Excel is simple Excel. XLSX. So let's check its library. See, AA. So this AA library is creating, and this AA library contains, now, which was the Excel which we have opened was NP information. Okay, so if I check this NP info data, which is there for me on my external drive, now I've already shared those data files with you. Okay, so if you check this data for NP, see,
Hmm.
NP info. Okay, if you open this, it opens as an Excel, and it consists of 3 Excel sheets within it. Okay, just a second, it will take time for me here. So it's a whole Excel workbook. Okay, within this Excel, you have this various sheets. So parks, species, visits. So this various Excel sheets in SAS, when you access the whole thing as an Excel workbook, as a library, these individual sheets are seen as tables. All right, are you getting it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, the same thing is here. So this will open as table into SAS. All right. So this was an example which I just wanted to give you with respect to Excel. And the question here is why the Excel and text files in the data folder not included into library? Because our libname statement was specifying the base engine. And that's why Excel and other files were not seen into our base library. So that's what it's telling. PG1 library uses base engine, so it reads only base SAS tables. All right. Moving back. All right. So see, in our libraries, we already have some predefined libraries as well. Correct? And you
Mm.
have this work library. So make a note. Whenever we start our session, SAS provides us two libraries to be used. One is the work library and one is the SAS help library. Okay, so the SAS help library is a permanent library, whereas work library is a temporary library. So that's what it's telling. So why temporary? Because in case if you save any type of data in this work library, it will be saved in this library only for that session. Hence, it's called as a temporary data or sorry, temporary library. All fine? Whereas whatever you will be saving in this permanent library, it will be there in the session throughout, even if you log out or log into your session. So that's what it's telling. It's a temporary contents deleted or whatever the contents it has, it gets deleted at the end of your session. Default, if no library is specified, by default, SAS will always save that particular table into work library. So when you're creating any data, and you do not give its libref reference, it will automatically saved into work library. Either you write work.table name or you simply give the table name. It is understood to SAS that you are saving it temporarily as that is into your work library. Fine. Whereas SAS help is one of the permanent libraries provided to us into your session. So this data, whatever it's saved in this library, even if you end your session, you start your session, that data will be already there into this SAS help library. So we already have pre-existing tables into SAS help libraries. See, all right. So these are already there. Even if you end your session, you will always see these tables. Fine. But then remember, if you require all these data files to be accessed every time for your session, we simply write a libname. So it will create one of the libraries for us as PG1. And this will refer all the data from your external drive into SAS. So this is one of our permanent library which we are creating as a SAS user or analyst. Apart from SAS help permanent library, we are also creating our own user defined permanent library called PG1. So that's what it's telling. So if you are looking ahead to create your own libraries, you can always provide this libname statement and give a library reference name to refer your libraries. And that's it. It's telling here we have a demo to explore, or it's a demonstration which illustrates using work and SAS help libraries that are automatically created by SAS. So just open this demo P102D01. So we'll go back into your folders, come into your PG1 folder, come into demos. Within demos, it's asking us P1 lesson 2 D01. Lesson 2 D01. So this is the ready to use code. So work as per this code, change your path here. Give the path here for your out folder, okay? If you remember, Pragati, you have also created a folder called out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's telling you need to connect to that out folder. So follow these instructions and work on it. It's a demo which you'll have to work by yourself. Read the instructions given in this comment and work accordingly.
Okay.
So moving back to our next slide, the same thing which I have already explained. If you are working to connect to the files which are not SAS files with a libname statement, you write libname, give libref name, write its engine name, give the path, the file name with its extension. So this was the example, correct? The same thing you can also work over here. Now this is not required when we are working into SAS Studio. When you're working with EG or SAS Studio, okay? It's telling that when we are actually importing the Excel file with libname, okay? In Excel, the names contains spaces in them. See? So for example, if we see our Excel file as well, did I close it? No. So see, look at the column names. So in one of the columns, see, you get space. See, here you see space, right? I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to show you here. The column names in Excel contain space, but as per our SAS rules, the column names should not contain spaces, right? So when we see this library for our AA name, which parks table, see by default, it's taking with column names, okay? So it's modified with your studio, it's taking care of it, but most of the time this column names, if you check this, it will always take its care with underscore. So that's what it is, very much
So
developed way it
still
could
there, na
see it
space.
into. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a modified version of your softwares where SAS Studio is taking care of that space, but ideally it should not be. So in EG, this by default, this spaces is been referred or is been saved with underscore sign. But being a cloud application as SAS Studio, it is working with spaces. So there will no issue for us when we are working with SAS Studio. All right. But with EG, it by default comes with underscore signs. So in case if you want to overcome this issue, you can always write the system or a global statement called as options and write valid variable name is equal to version 7. So or engine 7. So what this means is if you give this option valid var name equal to v9, this will force the table and column names to convert it into SAS naming convention. So let's work out in our studio for the same. So what I do is I go back into my program. I'll dissociate first my library here by writing AA to get dissociated with the external drive. I submit this, so it gets disassigned. Okay, so this is what I see in my log. I write option statement, which is a global statement, options, valid. So see, it's giving this valid var name. I gave version is v9. So this is the very first earlier version where it included about this valid var name. So I submit this option so that it is in effect for my session throughout my session, and I submit this libname statement. Okay, so its library is created. So let's check within this AA for parks. Okay, so as I said you, in SAS Studio, it is a modified version of the software, hence it is taking care with this space. But ideally, if we work with SAS 9 version of our software, or we work with another software which is EG, there you'll have to make use of this option called as valid var or valid var variable name with version v7. So for Studio, it's modified, so it's taking care with spaces. All fine? Okay.
Yes.
So that's what they have already explained the same thing in your PDF also when you'll work with the demonstration. Okay. So in case if you scroll down here, so if you'll check with the example, so see, it's telling in SAS Studio and Enterprise Guide, valid val name equal to option is set to any by default. Any enables column names to contain special characters, including spaces. I hope now you have understood. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it was valid there. Okay. So the same thing again. So yes, let me give you an example about the contents now for the contents for this particular file, which is suppose parks. Okay, so how you will see the proc contents for this park, which is coming from Excel data. So I'll write proc contents data equal to AA dot parks. Now let me show you how the engine information is showing you with this particular table. So see, its engine is XLSX. It's not a SAS table. We have just made a connection for an Excel file into SAS to be viewed as a SAS table, but it is still an Excel table. It's not a SAS table. Hence, it's telling there are 0 observations, so many variables. Why 0 observations? Because it's not a SAS file, it's a Excel table. And therefore, it does not give engine host information for this particular table because it's an external table with proc
So it will
contents.
not generate report also.
It will generate a report because it is a procedure, correct? Proc contents is a procedure, it's giving us a report itself. It will work as a report only, but we are referring it as an Excel. That's why this AA is telling it's a library which is referring an XLS file. It's not a SAS file, but we can refer, or we can read a non-Excel file by connecting with a libname and referring it as if a SAS file, and you can generate a report. So we are seeing its procedure with proc contents telling it's still an Excel file. But in case if you want to save it as a SAS file, what you can do is you write a data set and I say I'm creating a same name of file. I'm using this as an input source. So what I'm doing here, now I'm reading an Excel as an input data file and I'm creating a SAS file. Now I'm not referring any table, this table with a preceding of work name, that is my, it will by default be saving into my temporary library. So it will be by default saving into work library. So in case now, if I check my log, so that's what the log is telling, a data set is created work.parks. So it's telling it is read from Excel 56 observations and 6 variables. So it's telling this data was read with the library by importing from libname. The name of the library is AA because you have used in the data set as an input source. You have created a SAS file with the same, all the contents will be copied as it is as a SAS file. So if I go and check my work library now, I'll file Parks. See, Parks is there. Getting it now? I hope now you have understood. So this is what I have created a data set from my Excel sheet.
Okay, so in work library you saved Parks, right? So
Right.
is that, so the engine is changed?
So that's what. Now, if I see the contents, I simply refer at parks because by default, even if you do not refer as work.parks, it is going to read it from your work library.
Work library.
So now when I execute this, so what is its engine?
Yeah, V9.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's it. And now once our work or our whatever task related to a specific Excel file is been over, okay. So what we'll be doing is I go back into my program. Now I've already created a data set from my Excel sheet or an Excel library. So I dissociated the connection. So it's always good habit that once you have accessed the data and got all whatever the required information for your scenario is done, you dissociated the connection by using this, because this is very useful to retain your system resources. Okay, so
Mm.
that's all about it. And then you have this demo and an activity, the same thing. Okay,
Okay.
so what I'll do is we'll stop for the day. Okay, I would request you people to go through the slides, practice it. In
Mm.
case any issues, any doubts, we
Yeah.
will discuss it on our next class. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go through the video also whenever you will be practicing. And Meena, I'll be sharing an email to you with sending the link for SAS Studio and the data folders. So I would request you go to the first and second and third videos of our SAS class.
Mhm.
And accordingly, if you are able to make your profile and work to upload the data files, it will be very and good. And in case if you have doubt, we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Okay.
Not tomorrow. We have
No, no,
class.
for me,
Oh,
she.
okay. Okay, okay.
It's
You
for
have,
Meena.
okay. Got it.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
I'll take at least half an hour or 1 hour time for
Mhm.
Meena, and we'll discuss the things for studio for Meena tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay,
So our next class will be on Friday, right? At 10.
Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
fine. So
Yeah.
meanwhile, bye. Have a good day. Take care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
Thanks.